Kenny, we knew it was going to be a challenging week heading into last week, and we saw that playing the top two teams in the Northwest Conference, Whitman on Tuesday and Linfield on Friday. In spite of those outcomes, how did we grow as a team as we strive to get better through the rest of the season?
I mean, I think starting back on Tuesday against Whitman, you're able to see, the cream of the crop, obviously in our conference and also nationally. That's kind of the standard you want to strive to. They don't do anything fancy. There's not really very many, if any, gimmicks. They just play solid basketball the way it's meant to be played, and I think that's something that you have that first-hand example, first time for a lot of players on our team that they've seen what that program looks like. So hopefully getting that picture in your own gym kind of makes it, seem attainable of what you want to strive for. And then Friday, having a double-digit lead early in that game, jumping on them 17-7, where they were obviously shorthanded, was something where that was when we'd expect to have go our way, I think especially. And just knowing that when you have, a 6 or 7 minute stretch and you have an advantage and you want to just keep building off that, just knowing that as the game grows longer and the team's going to play hungry and desperate, we have to have that same mindset and approach right from the start, regardless of who's on the other side or anything of that sort.
So at a midpoint evaluation of the conference schedule, halfway through, we're 3-5, but only a game out of that fourth and final playoff spot, only 2 games out of second place, essentially, still. So a tight pack in the middle of the conference standings. How do you guys set your sights on what you need to do for accomplishing the goal of making the conference tournament?
I mean, looking at it, like you just mentioned, that everything's still in our control. Obviously, with the George Fox game getting away from us a little bit, and obviously the Whitman game, the other 6, obviously 3 of those we were victorious in, all felt within reach, within a handful of possessions either way. So it's something where you just have to take everything one weekend at a time, and even more so one game at a time. The calendar turns over pretty quick as far as it feels like just a week or so ago we were playing the West Side schools over here. So making that trip this weekend, we know PLU is going to be hungry, to right that wrong against us here, and we're obviously feeling the same way going over to UPS.
So talk about maybe what PLU, or UPS Friday and PLU Saturday, talk about maybe what they're doing differently than when we saw them 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, UPS not a whole lot different. They'd had not the same non-conference success they had in November and December as they had in the previous couple of years. But a program that knows their identity, when they're winning here against us, they went on a roll of, I think, 4 in a row. They're on the other side of where they've dropped a few that they felt like they could have won. So it's something where we just have to, kind of like the statement's been for us, the last few weeks or couple months, is that it really just matters on our end. We know what teams are going to do. It hasn't been something where X's and O's wise teams have gotten a ton of advantage of us. It's just, players on the floor being disciplined and making sure that we're not giving up those second chance opportunities. We're knowing what personnel looks like, and we're preventing them from hitting, 11 threes like they did here, and then turning around with a quick turnaround Saturday. Would expect, Reisner to be playing as she only missed the game against, I think that weekend she was over here. But they've been playing really well. They got some good results. They beat George Fox, I believe, over at their place, and they had a couple other good results. They're a really solid defensive team. They're low possessions, and they know what they want to run. So it's something where, a juxtaposition of styles that we'll see on Friday and Saturday, but like always, it comes back down to if we're able to execute for 2 nights.